Very quick. What's up? Happy Saturday, everybody. Dean and Jen Gross with Gain here.
Hope you had a great Saturday or having a
Yes,
great Saturday.
having a great Saturday. It's been a pretty eventful Saturday over here,
Jam-packed with lots of fun.
jam-packed, but that's a typical Saturday. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about success leaving clues. Um, Obviously, we've actually been in a couple industries where really outsourcing is important. We see it every day. That kind of the idea that some people try to do things themselves that maybe not their area of expertise because they think maybe they could save some money. Maybe they think they could. That's usually the number one thing is they try to save some money. Or the other thing in the coin is we see folks that, and we've been there too, where, hey, what's up, Daniela? How about you? Did you teach yoga today? Where you see, I think a big part of what we want to share tonight is really when we say success leaves clues is there's a lot of so-called experts out there in many different areas, and use some sensory acuity and go for areas where you see success. I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but it's easy to get confused. So for an example, with diet and exercise, obviously that's big. There's so many different diet plans and weight loss programs and all these people that are claiming to be subject matter experts, or they're relying on journals, and you can simplify that whole thing. And my suggestion would be to look at somebody and say,
is that the physique I want?
Yeah, is that the, so if it's physique, because there's a couple different things here, right? So if someone says, hey, I want to look a certain way, does that person represent that, or do they work with someone that represents that?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a sports specific thing, do they have those sports traits, or do they work with someone that has that? So an example, if you're like into bodybuilding, you would probably want to go to somebody that represents the physique that you want, or coaches someone that represents the physique you want. If you were training for a sport, you'd probably go to somebody that has a great amount of success in that sport, or someone that works with someone that's having a great amount of success in that sport. Financial, same thing. The old joke is you don't get financial advice from a poor person. But I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. If it's a financial guru, are they using the tools they're recommending? And do you see financial success?
In other words, if they're recommending a fund to you, do they also have their money in that fund?
Yes. Is it not just about commission breadth, but do they represent success? Are they a representation of success to you? Is that where you want to be? If not, find someone that fits that mold.
Mm-hmm.
Again, either they represent themselves or they have a ton of clients that represent those examples. I think a lot of times either someone doesn't even look for the guidance. And again, it may not be a money issue. Some of these things you can get free of charge or a very nominal price. You can find certain mentors, but when you find maybe some people that are volunteer to be your mentor, help you out, do they represent success in your eyes? If they don't, you might want to keep looking, because they're all around. There's a great, someone wants six-pack abs. They probably don't go to the guy with the beer belly for guidance on what he's eating or what he's doing in the gym. They go to someone that either works with a ton of people with awesome abs or has it themselves, is usually the case. And so very easy and simple to say, but unfortunately we see a lot of different things. The other side of the spectrum is to actually ask for the help. We both come from an industry, even in business, where there are some things, obviously self-learning is always important and self-skill is important, but if it's not your avenue, time is your number one asset.
And it's a lot to learn when you delve into other industries and other specialties, especially from a business standpoint. I mean, I'm just thinking of the different experts that, a small business owner tends to refer to, whether it's their accountant, their CPA, their auditor, their P&C insurance agent, their health insurance agent, their life insurance agent, their 401k representative, their HR administrator, different experts in different areas, because those are so many hats that somebody would have to wear when they could be focusing on the keys to success of growing their business. If it is a for-profit business, growing their profits. If it's non-for-profit, growing their grants, bringing in money into the nonprofits.
Right.
So, when you think of it in that sense, it is a lot to learn and become experts. And it is great to learn as much as you can.
Right.
Obviously, we try to, but I think that was kind of where you were going.
Yeah, well, in just that time is your number one asset. And so, if you think of a Saturday like today, if family time is really high on your priority list, do you want to spend half your day painting your house because you know how to do it? Right. So you look at certain things like that and say, well, I get it. Affordability's got to be there, but is someone better at it than you? And what's the trade-off? What's the trade-off of what you lose, maybe what money you could make in your business or what time you could spend with your family that you can't get back?
Unless you really enjoy doing those things. And some people do. It's kind of
therapeutic. Those are two different things. So
yeah.
what we're talking about is someone just doing it just because they think they can do it. Because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah.
I mean, where does it stack on your list of priorities? How much time does it consume? And what is the financial ramifications? And I know we've said it before is, what would you consider your hourly rate in your business? And if it's not something, if doing something is less than that to have someone else do it, that's probably your answer, as long as they are an expert in that area.
And then I'm even thinking as a homeowner, there are some little tasks around the home, and I'm fairly handy for a woman, but I'm definitely not going to take on some challenges such as plumbing or a water pipe leaking.
Exactly.
And neither has this guy.
No.
Because if we were to do that, I think we might get some visitors.
It might have been a naked guy.
We might get some visitors on the street here.
Get.
But if we were to take on that time, and for us it'd be a headache, it'd be frustrating.
And what would the sacrifice be?
But the cost of that, of the error that we would probably make in doing that, the time we'd invest into it,
plumbing, electrical,
the stress that would probably come into play with that, and then the fixing of what we did because we probably wouldn't do it right.
Yes. No, I mean, it just exasperates. And so something to think about. There's a lot of people that are do-it-yourselfers, and that's great. That's a great skill. But when you're thinking about balancing the act, you think about those type of things.
Hi, right? DJ.
What's up, buddy? Playing on me? So, you think about your hourly rate, you think about your level of expertise. Like she said, something specialty like that, like plumbing, electrical work. We're not talking about handy stuff around the house. Those are things you consider. We both spend a tremendous amount of time in payroll and HR and business. And that's the one aspect of business in corporate America that brings no revenue to a business. And so, the thing is, there are people out there that learn that trade and become experts in payroll, but does that mean they should spend their time on it because it brings no revenue to their business? It's kind of a trade-off, because you look at, well, just because I know it, shouldn't my time be spent somewhere else, though? Because if it brought me money, that's a different thing. So, those are some of the dynamics you think about. So it was a topic that came up this weekend, like we said, and we're obviously in a business, in a coaching business, where people look at those trade-offs all the time of, what's my time worth? Where should I spend my time? And then once I've chosen to maybe outsource some of these things,
are you choosing the right
choosing the right thing? And so again, it becomes, I feel pretty easy, but it's worth reminding is maybe don't always take the first one that comes across your door, because do they fit that criteria? That's where you can be very specific. Again, if they represent the financial freedom that you want, then they may be a fit from a financial realm. If they represent the business success that you want, they may be a fit there. If they represent the family dynamic and power and how they run a well-run family, then you might want to get some tips and mentors there. Spirituality, all these things, if they don't represent that, you probably want to keep looking. But if they do, it's worth it getting those mentorships and outsourcing that. Don't have so much pride that you can't reach out to somebody. Again, it may not be a financial thing, and just to get some mentorship on that end, because they happen to be subject matter experts. They're doing really, really well. They're where you want to be.
I think we might have another little helper.
We have another subject matter expert?
We got another helper who has her pajamas all twisted.
Like what we said, if it comes to visualization, I can visualize, but I might want to go to a subject matter expert like Juliana to practice visualization. You know,
There we go.
right, DJ?
She can use her imagination like the best of them.
So it was a good day today, right?
So what do we do today, guys? You want to tell our friends what we were up to today?
We went to a birthday party.
Yeah.
We went to Chipotle. We went to get their present.
Mhm.
We went to basketball.
Yes.
Yes.
We went to the arcade.
The arcade.
We
yeah.
played go-karts.
Yes, we rode go-karts
Go-karts,
today.
yes.
We went to the golf thing. I mean
Yeah.
the
Putt-putt.
putt-putt
Yep.
golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was 2 people that had hole-in-ones in the entire group of 17. Who were those 2?
Who had hole-in-ones?
This girl right here had one.
You
And this guy had one.
Yeah.
On the same hole, no doubt.
2
Both
hole-in-one
had
putt
hole-in-ones.
putters.
So people needed help learning the putting stroke. They got to come to you too. So it was pretty productive. 2 hole-in-ones. Played a game of basketball.
Fun with friends.
Go-kart racing. Arcade.
We're all done.
Yeah. And it's going to be time to shut it down soon, I
Yes,
presume,
they're
right?
exhausted. It's been a non-stop day, super fun, but I think we're gonna call it a night.
Yeah.
Get fed real quick and tuck
Yeah.
them into bed for the evening.
So, if you want to talk further about outsourcing and kind of being strategic with that, obviously connect with us, direct message with us, go to growthimprovement.com.
yes, if you're not on our newsletter, hop on. It's gainhottips.com.
Yeah, the camera.
And please help us
Read
share
that.
the message, share
Yep.
this video. That helps us out tremendously.
Yes.
Like and
Like and share.
comment.
Yep.
That's also really great, right? We want to see hearts, right, Juliana? We love seeing hearts on the screen. So
SpongeBob.
show us some hearts.
Yes.
And we're going to call it a night. We'll
Yes.
check on you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a great rest of your Saturday.
Showing the Gene Simmons song.
Bye. You want to say good night?
Showing
Good
Gene Simmons.
night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.